Yo, what's up? This is our first podcast of a Locked In with me and my partner Akash. I'm Dev.
I'm
Akash, you want
Kosh.
to introduce yourself? So we're just two sports gamblers, I guess. I'd say. I don't know. All we
Yeah,
do is just watch sports
yeah,
and
yeah,
bet on it. And so we were like, why not just start a podcast? You know?
yeah.
So
Hey,
what is it, like week 4 now?
week four. A little late to the game, but
Yeah, it's fine.
we've had good plays every week. So,
Oh yeah.
if you
But we were
guys,
like, why not just share with everyone? Just
yeah,
see
exactly.
what
Have
watching.
everyone join along with the ride. We're doing all of you guys a favor. So
Yeah, facts.
subscribe, like, comment. Thank you. And we'll
And
keep
like
doing
every
this for you guys if you guys show appreciation. Because
yeah, okay, all right. Enough chitter chatter. Okay, let's talk about the game that's happening tomorrow. Cowboys Giants Thursday Night Football.
cowgirls,
First
cowgirls.
of all, can we talk about how I'm not excited to watch the Cowboys this season? They kind of suck. You
Dude,
know,
what is the under on Thursday night games? Like how many
I
times
don't know.
have
I think it's a like
it's a ridiculous
always
stat.
Thursday night games always go under because
Yeah.
except for the first game. Remember Ravens Chiefs
Yeah.
that actually went over? Because that was actually a good game. But
Chiefs, bro.
Chiefs should have lost that game, but whatever. We're not gonna talk about all that. Um,
We'll
No,
get
but
into that
last
later.
week we didn't have a great Thursday night because the Dolphins just got blown out,
Yeah.
remember? So it was like, so we got to be careful. I know it's gonna be raining in this game, so the conditions are gonna be interesting in New York.
Turf
So
turf field, right?
yeah.
Turf field. Interesting.
So let's start talking about like the history, right? Like the two games the Cowboys played Giants last year. It was week 1 in Giants, and the Cowboys won 40-0, right?
Yeah.
And then the second game, I think we blew them out too. And it was in Dallas. And obviously in Dallas, it's different because it's in a dome, so it doesn't really matter. But I know New York plays us hard in New York. But last year they got blown out. But that was because we had a really good defense. But this year, our defense is just, I have no hopes for the Cowboys. It's like even last week when but they were losing 28-6 in the fourth quarter, and then they came back. And I was with a caution. I told him this is what they do. They bring us up to a cliff so we can start hoping, oh my God, we're coming back. And then they just drop us. So I did not believe in that comeback. I told him, I was like, we are not winning this game. And guess what? We didn't win. So
I
it's just,
mean,
it's just like being a Dallas fan sucks, bro. It's like you have so much hope on your team, and it's like they can't perform when it actually really matters. We cannot stop the run. Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns. We made what? How old is Derrick Henry? Like 29, made him look like a
dude,
freaking
he's like
Derrick
31, I
Henry,
think.
bro. 2 touchdowns. Like I was watching game film on that game, and all of our defense has no
I
physicality. Our
mean,
linebackers are getting tossed around. So it's like,
no, I mean, you should hear the stat. Like, you should hear these stats. The Cowboys allow the seventh most rush attempts and the
yeah, it's
fourth
like
most rushing yards to running backs. They allow the most rushing TDs to running backs so far. They allow the fourth most receiving yards to running backs. They allow the fourth most receiving touchdowns to wide receivers.
yeah, so it's
They
like
have the fourth most
honestly.
interceptions.
Honestly, talking about defense, our defense had to switch up because we just got a new defensive coordinator. It was the Mike Zimmerman from Minnesota. So Dan Quinn went to Washington, and Washington's defense actually sucks as well. So we kind of like I thought Mike Zimmerman would be a better upgrade that like because we all remember what happened against the Packers in the playoffs last year. So that was not fun. But I don't know. I guess you still need like a few more weeks for them to get adjusted. But so yeah,
Wait,
I'm gonna ask Akash first. Like, what do you think about this game overall? Under like, who are you taking? Like,
I
who are you
mean,
side of? Like, over under? Like, whatever.
I definitely have the Cowboys. Some more statistics, actually. I'm just going to give two more right now. The Cowboys allow the third most rush attempts and fourth most rushing yards to QBs. They also allow the
Pretty
second most
good.
rushing touchdowns to
Oh
QBs.
wow. Okay.
Okay, so your question, like over unders, or do you want to talk about first
I mean,
touchdown?
like, who do you have winning this game? Like, do you think Giants keep it close or Cowboys pull them out?
I think Dallas blows them out. I think
Yeah.
Dallas blows them out after a tough beat last week and another tough beat the week before. I think that It's do or die. Mike McCarthy's gonna get fired. Cut that out. He's gonna get fired, Coach Mike McCarthy, if they don't win this game. Also, something interesting. Uh, both of the Giants' nickel corners, Adoree Jackson and Drew Phillips, have calf injuries. They didn't practice. And even before that, they allowed the fourth most receiving touchdowns to wide receiver and the 10th most rushing yards to running back. I think this is a CeeDee Lamb game. Cut that out. It's definitely a legacy game here for him. He has only one touchdown in the last three games.
Yeah. And that was also like it was like a broken play. Who was it against? It was the second week. Who were we playing? Dude, how am I already blanking on week two? It wasn't against the Ravens. It was against the Saints. He broke one against the Saints, right? It was like
Saints
65
defense
yards.
dirty though.
The D the DB couldn't tackle him. So yeah, I mean I agree with you. I think Dallas wins this, right? I feel like because it's a
I
division
think Dallas
game.
covers too, covers the spread 100%.
Yeah, I think it's like five right now or five and a half.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. Depends. But it's a divisional game. Cowboys always play Giants hard. As we saw last year, 40-0 in Giants. So I think on the comeback of like 25-28, 25-28 is not the like that score isn't like indicative of what actually happened in the game. Like they were losing 28-6. So
Dude,
I'm
even
not taking
do we
28-25
really
into
think Daniel
25.
Jones is going to put up 28 points?
No, I don't think so.
Has he put up 28 points so
I
far?
mean, Malik Neighbors has been like the talk of New York. Like I saw Saquon tweeting about New York again, and a lot of New York fans hate him, and they were like, "I don't care." Like Malik Neighbors is him, so I'm like, I guess like all these LSU wide receivers are like going crazy. So yeah, I have Dallas. I have Dallas winning. I hope they cover, but I don't think I'm gonna bet the minus 5.5. I feel like Dallas money line could be a parlay piece pretty easily, right? Um, so going on that, I feel like my best play for this game has to be Dak over 1.5 passing touchdowns, right? I feel like he's been disrespected a lot. Jake Ferguson's coming back, Tolbert's going, and CeeDee Lamb just came off a game where he had a pretty bad game, fumbled the ball in the red zone, and he had an interview like 2 days ago, and he was like, I like it was a failure. Like I don't know what I was doing, right? So like he wants to get going. And I feel like this Giants team is the team where he's gonna get going. Like Kosh said, both of their corners are out. Um, so expect Dak to feed CD early, right? So one of my best bets for this game has to be Dak over 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's only minus 120. So like you can pair that with Dallas money line and you don't have to swear,
Yeah.
right? So like you can take Dak over 1.5 and then Dallas money line. Yeah, like I said. One more bet before I give it to Akash. I really like so I know we're going on like Malik Neighbors, but I don't know. See, the only thing about Giants offense is Malik Neighbors, right? So if you contain one guy, like who else are they gonna pass the ball to, right?
Okay, so here's what I would say, right? Uh, the Giants last week against the Browns, they made an intentional effort to get the Malik matched up against the Browns' second nickel. Uh, and he was used a lot in the pre-snap motion. They should do this again with the Cowboys. Like Neighbors is going to see Diggs on one-on-one, like man-to-man looks, but
See, the thing is
they're
that
going to
Dallas needs.
target Kalen Carson just like they did when they played against the Browns last
Mhm.
week. Carson has struggled this far. I mean, Diggs hasn't looked that far good, but Carson, he's posted a 59.7 coverage rating per PFF, and he's
Mhm.
also allowed 10 receptions for 143 yards so far this season while posting a 120 passer rating when
So the thing
targeted.
about I would say about Dallas defense that's different is that now they play a lot of zone, right? When we had Dan Quinn, he would play a lot of man, but now that we're playing the most zone coverage in the NFL so far, and Malik Neighbors has these amazing games because Browns do play a lot of man, right? So if you man up on Malik, he's gonna cook you.
So I would
So the
say
only way
that,
to stop him
but
is to play zone.
so they like Cowboys have coming to week three, 80.7% zone coverage rate, and that's sixth in the league.
Yeah,
Malik
exactly.
hasn't been that effective in zone compared to
Yeah.
man. but he still has a 25.7 target share against zone coverage, which is the
Mm.
highest of the team. And he leads the league. No, he doesn't lead the league. My bad. He's 16th across the entire league in receiving yards versus zone coverage with 129. So
So, I mean,
Cowboys are going to come out like if Cowboys do come out with man against neighbors, he's gonna eat. He ranks number one in PFF databases in grade versus man coverage with 93.2. And he's already almost impossible to cover. So
yeah, I agree.
and
He's playing.
he's the only like they're gonna be playing from behind. Their two top nickel corners have been ruled out. Cowboys passing attack is gonna do amazing. Negative game script for neighbors is so good. Like this is only gonna lead to like Daniel targeting him another 18
Yeah.
times.
I think for me personally, like I feel like the yards he could hit, but I feel like anytime touchdown is probably a better play for me.
Uh,
I'm gonna lie. Because Cowboys do stuff.
he's gonna get red zone targets because
He's gonna
Daniel
get
Jones
red zone
is gonna
targets a lot.
throw it to
So
him and just pray like he's done every time. He's gonna throw him hospital balls and just fucking pray, cut that out. He's gonna pray and send it to the moon. He's gonna hope and pray that Malik Neighbors just catches
yeah,
it.
so I feel like we're both on neighbors anytime touchdown. I feel like he gets one, right? Because as a coach that they're gonna be playing from behind. Even if they're gonna be playing from behind, even if they lose. I don't know if you saw, there's a lot of beef between Diggs and Malik Neighbors right now. They've been beefing for the past 2 days, tweeting at each other. So I
Yeah.
I
Uh,
feel like neighbors would want to have a game. So instead of his yards, I feel like they'll definitely try to get him a touchdown. So Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown is one of my next plays. So yeah. You have any other plays you want to play? You're playing, Akash?
Rico Dowdle rush attempts,
Yep.
over 8.5 or 9.5, wherever you can get the line.
I feel like Rico Dowdle is running back one for the Cowboys because Zeke sucks. Like Zeke gets the rush attempts, but he's not really doing anything with it. But Rico Dowdle actually has like some explosiveness instead of Zeke, who's really old now, and like
I
his second
mean,
stint at the Cowboys. So it's like,
so after in the last 3 weeks, I mean, here's their snap share, right? Here's the snaps. Dowdle the first week had 28, Zeke had 32 snaps. The second week, Dowdle had 30 snaps, and Elliott had 28. Or no, the second week, 30. Dowdle had 30, Elliott had 28. Now the third week, Dowdle had 37 snaps, and Elliott had 15. So we already see Dowdle starting to get
but
back.
that also could mean because they were down most of that game. So like Dowdle could be a receiving back, like third down situation, like 2 minute drills. What do you think?
I mean, so here's the thing, right? Like Rico, he got a lot of his carries in the first quarter last,
Mm.
and so that's how you know that they like him. Deuce Vaughn is just a non-factor.
I don't know how that
Has
gets.
had like they've doubt like the Cowboys have found themselves down 20 points in the last 2 weeks, but Dowdle has still had 8 and 7 carries over the last couple of weeks. So I think that with the positive game script for the Cowboys, they should come out with the early lead, I suspect. Even then, they'll definitely have a lead by the third quarter, I suspect. And at that point, you just pound down the other team with the run and open up the
Yeah,
pass.
I feel like rush attempts are definitely like a great move.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, so you gave out how many props? What are you on?
So Rico Dowdle, rush attempts. I'm also on Malik Neighbors, 67.5 receiving yards.
Okay, okay.
Love that. Love that a lot. Rico Dowdle, rush attempts. Love that. Um, I would
Oh,
say
we didn't talk about the best player on the Cowboys.
Brandon Aubrey. Dude,
Brandon Aubrey has cashed us out.
number one lock for the entire 2024 season. Thanks to Dev Patel. He was on this man before anybody in the entire world. I promise you, this guy, the moment Brandon Aubrey got signed, he was like, he's the best kicker in the entire NFL.
No, just watched him
I took
last
him in
year.
every single fantasy league. I was like, you don't know what you're doing. You're a bad manager. Cowboys kickers have sucked. Brandon Aubrey is just a 30-year-old washed soccer player who decided to come to the NFL. Who knew that this man was
Yeah. Bro,
his
65
foot was
yard field goal.
blessed by NFL kicking gods? That's what it is, man.
Uh,
This guy is an absolute lock. This guy's guaranteed bread every single week. It's actually disrespectful that they're putting his line at over 1.5 field goal. I don't care if this line is at minus 200. I don't care if this line is at minus 250. I am pairing it with something else every week. You can count me to lock.
yeah. I feel like also the thing with the Cowboys is that they do drive down, but they don't know how to finish in the end zone,
There you
right?
go. And
So what are they doing? They're trotting out Brandon
exactly, I would
Almeida, and
also
he has
take
not missed.
if we weren't going up against if they weren't going up against the Giants, I would absolutely love and smash Brandon Aubrey over 41.5 field goal, like longest field goal. Because
I feel like he could still hit that. He could still
but
hit
here's the
that.
thing, right?
41 and a half is
Okay,
nothing.
the reason is the Giants defense is so bad, and it's been kind of
Oh, they had 9 sacks last week. Did you
okay.
see that?
Okay, no,
That was
are you
insane.
talking about Giants defense? Okay, listen, Giants
Yeah.
defense. They're so bad, but the reason why it's been sort of like covered is because they've been going up against dog water teams.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Well, who did they play a week two? Oh, they played Washington. Oh, Washington's kind of
Exactly.
good. They lost.
So, okay, look at it like this. In week one, Justin Jefferson had 50 yards in 2 quarters.
Oh my God.
The Vikings had full on positive game script, and so they completely abandoned the pass and just ran the ball, right? Week two, the Giants faced off against the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. And in week two, we all know that Jaden Daniels, they had not established the passing games yet. And even then, they allowed 62 yards to Zach Ertz and 56 yards to Noah Brown. And now,
Bro, Washington won that game kicking 7 field goals.
exactly.
7 field goals. What?
No,
Bro, imagine that. Imagine you actually go down and score touchdowns and you still lose the game because they're kicking field goals and
I
your
mean,
defense can't stop them. Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
uh, no, this is another one. Last week, uh, the Giants went up against the Browns. And this is what we expect CD's stats to kind of look like. Amari Cooper had
Yeah,
86 yards for 7 receptions and 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. Yeah.
Wait,
So
Deshaun
like the thing with CD, I have
Watson.
yeah, that's with Deshaun Watson. So it's like Deshaun Watson might actually be the worst quarterback in the league. We'll talk about that some other time anyway. Um,
He's a better human being than he is a quarterback.
that's
Because
crazy,
he's so bad at playing quarterback.
dude. Nah, bro,
I saw
nah.
that on
Nah,
Twitter
he's
and I was
definitely like
dying.
the
I still think
worst.
about that and start
No, he's
laughing.
definitely, bro. He has the worst category in like everything. Human being, playing quarterback, bro. Like existing, like that's insane.
He's cooked.
Yeah,
Watson's
he's
cooked,
good.
man. Watson's cooked.
Um,
Browns are
but
think should
I
do
I
it.
was telling Akash this. I have the same angle on CD that I had for Chase when he played Washington. I knew Chase was gonna eat against that Washington defense, and what he do? He ate. CD had an interview 2 days ago. It was like, yeah, it's my fault. I take the blame. Like, I gotta play better. So what are they fucking gonna do? Beat the ball.
Yeah,
So
they're not
if
paying
you
Dak
if
two
you're
hundred
really
forty
about
million
it, if you
dollars and CeeDee Lamb, what, $160 million? They're not paying them a combined $400 million to do nothing.
so if you're actually about it, you could play like CD alt number like 99 and a half. So like CD to have a 100-yard game and a touchdown.
Ladders,
Yeah,
ladders.
I could pay out well. I
Logan
saw
Gabriel ladder. We love
yeah,
that.
I saw that his receptions are set at like 6.5 or something, I think. Let me see. Let me double check. Okay, so we have one more prop that we're gonna give out. Me and Akash already talked about this and we really like it. It's Devin Singletary over 15 and a half receiving yards. He had like 44 last game because it was actually a decent game and they were going against it with the Browns, going back and forth. So I feel like, especially in like a rainy weather, like they're gonna be playing down. Um, what is Daniel Jones gonna do? Check it down to his running back, right? 15 and a half. He can do it on 2 plays. So I don't mind the receptions, but I think receiving yards is the move. What do you think, Akash?
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys play zone coverage 82% of the time, third highest in the league. Uh, Despite Malik Neighbors leading in basically all receiving stats, Devin Singletary is the one who thrives in zone coverage, averaging 0.29 targets per route ran compared to Neighbors at 0.27. He's averaging a team best 11 yards after catch per reception, and he has a great, absolute amazing matchup against the Cowgirls, which ranked 29 in receiving yards allowed to running back at an average of 51.3 per game, which is ridiculous. They rank dead last in yards allowed per reception to running backs at 11.9.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Dead
Um,
last. I mean,
Listen,
yeah, look at Alvin Kamara. Like, what?
despite only 3 games, the Cowboys have allowed 5 different running backs to cover this receiving line, with Jerome Ford at 25 yards, Pierre Strong Jr., who even is he, at 20 yards,
He's the backup for the Browns.
Kamara 65 yards, Derrick Henry 23 yards, Justice Hill 21 yards, Devin Singletary. I mean, he's next in line here.
Yeah, he should hit this number pretty
Yeah,
easy.
he's been amazing in New York so far.
You
He
know,
won.
normally I would be upset that he called the Cowboys the Cowgirls, but I'm not even gonna say anything about it because that's how they're playing. I just want you
They
guys to
are
go
though,
look at,
actually.
go look at like 30 seconds of film. Our linebackers are like a 190 max. Derrick Henry chucked three of them on
Chuck
one
it,
run.
chuck it. They're
Dude,
cooking.
so like
It's like the
they're playing
oh
like
my
cowgirls, bro.
God.
Dude, they're playing like cowgirls. So it's like I can't even like they gotta show me something here because Giants don't have a run game. Like Devin Singletary, like come on, bro. Like you gotta be able to tackle him. So I don't mind playing him out the passing yards, like receiving yards. But yeah. Also, another note on the Cowboys, they screwed us on Survivor week 2. So like just bad vibes. So
Terrible.
this is the week they have to prove it to me. I promise you, if we lose to the Giants tomorrow, chalk the Cowboys. I do not want to talk about them. I don't want to do anything. This
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
game where you come out,
Against a
establish
divisional opponent, man.
exactly
Divisional matchup.
establish CD, get him over 100, get him some touchdowns. Like, yo, like the Giants do not belong in the same conversation the Cowboys do. So if we lose tomorrow, it might be refs.
Yeah, I I agree. All right, so let's move on. Now that we're got the props out of the way, we have Dak over 1.5 passing touchdown,
Yep.
league neighbors over 69.5 receiving yards, Brandon Aubrey, our absolute lock, over one and a half
Absolute luck.
field
Yeah.
goals,
Mhm.
CeeDee Lamb over his receiving yards or anytime touchdown,
Mhm.
Malik Neighbors anytime touchdown as well, Rico Dowdle over 9.5 rush attempts, and Devin Singletary over 6.5 receiving
I was
yards.
also gonna say CD. I played him on the longest reception
Yeah,
because like they always look for him
I
down
played
the
that too.
field, right? And he's able to break like a tackle. That's what he did against the Saints. And if you go look at his stats, like over 25 and a half longest reception, like he's hit this like so many times. He hit this last week against the Ravens too, and the week before when he had that huge touchdown. So 25 and a half, he should be able to do it pretty
Especially
easily.
with both their nickel corners just
Yeah, so like
chalk.
Dak's gonna chuck one down to him, and
100%.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I see
sure
it. I
what
see it.
he's been saying, he's gonna back it up. He's
They're
gonna
gonna
come.
tell him to run a seam. He's gonna stutter step and just fly
Yeah.
past
Mhm.
whatever
Yeah.
like
So
practice
I
squad.
really like the longest reception. So I played that, and then I played obviously Dak over 1.5, and then Brandon Aubrey and Devin Singletary. Yeah, that's it.
Yep. Um, Before we move on to ladders, just a quick anytime first touchdown, some quick darts on the board, really easy. CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Jake Ferguson, Tyron Tracy Jr., maybe if you want. He's healthy now. He's a really you could take his receiving yards actually too if you want, because both backs of the Browns and both backs of the Ravens hit their receiving overs, and Tyron Tracy profiles as a receiving back. You could see him run all of his snaps actually as a receiver. He He actually transitioned from a receiver to a running back in college.
Oh
Interesting.
wow. Wow.
So that's a big reason why I could potentially love his receiving work.
I actually haven't done any research on him, but I feel like he would go over.
I
Like
mean,
he
he's
would
been
pretty
injured.
much go over.
He's been injured actually, and now he's finally good to go. So I think you and I maybe later on
Yeah.
should we don't even have to add this, but you and I, Dev, we should really seriously consider tomorrow taking Tyrone Tracy Jr. I got this from John Gruden actually. I was watching his podcast.
Uh,
He's the one who mentioned Tyrone Tracy Jr. Who profiled as a
I feel
receiver.
like when Devin Singletary like, is like kind of gassed, they're gonna bring
Yeah.
him, they're gonna give him a check down. His line's probably pretty low too.
I
Like
mean, yeah, we could see what his line is at right now. Let me just check on Fliff. Hmm.
they don't have it up.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure you can find him on offshores for sure. You can find his lines on offshores, but I would not mind taking that.
Uh, hmm.
Yeah.
Or maybe even if you wanted to use prop builder,
Yeah, on both. Yeah, yeah, like on an offshore. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you might be able to find it like that. Let's move on to ladders now. Dev, by the way, we have
Ladder chatter,
this
ladder chatter.
before we have to do a new Zoom. Uh, you first?
Yeah. So I'm going back to CD Lamb. Obviously, I'm gonna play his alt number over 99 and a half. I feel like he has 100 yards in this game, guaranteed. Actually, not guaranteed, hopefully. But I feel like his receiving yards is at 80 and a half. You can play it to 100. I think it's plus 150. You can take it over like 125. It's like
Yeah.
plus 400 or
I
something.
could see him posting a buck 25 here. But
Yeah.
also
But
game
I
script.
game script, yeah,
But I
exactly.
also think that they're not going to press their foot off the gas. They want
Hmm.
to put some life into the Cowboys defense and Cowboys offense.
Hmm.
Uh,
I also like one more play. You could play like Dak over 2.5 passing touchdowns, right?
yeah, yeah.
He's
A
had this.
ladder that
Yeah, exactly. So like his line's at 1.5, you can take it at 2.5. I think it's plus 200. He definitely gets 3 touchdowns on the Giants. If the game script is there and the Giants do put up a fight, Dak will have 3 touchdowns in this game like nothing, right? Like he'll go down and score on them, especially because their corners are out. Also with the CeeDee Lamb, I do like his receptions a lot too. So honestly, it depends on how you want to play it. Like I already have it. I'm already playing it on longest reception. So I feel like I might ladder the receptions because the last game he played against the Giants, he had 11 targets. Sorry, 12 targets, 11 receptions, 150 yards. So it doesn't matter. If he goes over 100, he's gonna have like at least eight receptions. And his line's at 6.5. So you can play 7.5, 8.5, and he's gonna hit all of that. He's gonna hit all his yards. So we just need him to come out, dominating the second string corners, and I feel like we'll catch everything.
yeah. Also Malik Neighbors ladder.
Malik Neighbors, yeah.
We love that. Trey Diggs isn't looking so good this season. Neither is
Yeah.
Cowboys' other DB. Also, Malik Neighbors is the only target for Daniel Jones. Singletary ladder for receiving yards. He
Hmm.
had 43 last game. Right now it's at 16 and a half. And Cowboys are terrible against receiving yards. So we should see Devin Singletary catch a couple of passes or Tyrone Tracy. Um, I also like actually against a divisional matchup, I like Brandon Aubrey over 2.5 field goals. I
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think the
We played
Cowboys.
this last week and we were this close. If we actually had a chance to cash now that I think about it, because me and Akash played this last week, and there was a time where they were losing 28-6 and they were on the 40-yard line on the Ravens, and it was like in the third quarter, and they went for it on fourth down because they were losing 28-6. Now that I think about it, if they kicked that field goal right there, it would have been 28-28. Think
Mhm.
about it,
Yep.
right? And we would have cashed our ladder on Brandon Aubrey. So I feel like Cowboys now know that like even if you're down, just take your points instead of going.
Exactly. Exactly. Like because Brandon Aubrey,
He's so
it
automatic.
adds
He's like an
up. It
automatic three
adds
points.
up. Exactly. It adds up, and then they can just keep putting their foot on the gas.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Talk about CD and Brandon Aubrey ladders. Malik Neighbors ladder. maybe like 2 touchdowns if you're feeling spicy. I'm probably just gonna play one. If he gets two, like it is what
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, I think
I might
that's
take
it.
CeeDee Lamb two touchdowns,
Two
one
touchdowns. Yeah,
touchdown,
I feel like that could be
paired with Malik Neighbors 1 touchdown.
oh yeah. That would be a nice payout. That would be a nice payout. Imagine you did like CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, and like Malik Neighbors. I feel like
Yeah.
Jake gets in. He had a pretty good game against the Ravens. And like I feel like he would get in against the Giants
Uh,
defense, right? So big things for the Cowboys, but as I said, whenever we start putting hope on them, they let us down. So hopefully they don't let us down tomorrow.
yeah. Yeah. Is that it? Is that it for our first podcast?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all our plays for Thursday Night Football, but we'll be back with a longer episode on Friday. We'll break down each single game that's happening on Sunday, and then we'll talk about it, and then we'll give like who we're on, but not like actually we're betting. At the end, we'll have like some locks, some money line dogs, and like if we want to get involved in a teaser action, we should do that too.
Mhm. And this is just the first episode.
Yeah.
Expect a lot of things to change.
Yeah.
We're going to keep evolving. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep just getting better at
Getting
this.
better. Yeah, that's a
This
goal.
is our first time. We still have no idea what we're doing, not in terms of sports betting, but just in terms
Yeah,
of,
sports betting, that's something we do have idea of what to do.
yeah. Uh,
But yeah, this podcast stuff is new.
yeah,
So
even if I sell you, Dev should make you money. So,
no, I think we both got it locked down. So
mhm.
it's fine.
Mhm. Anyways, it was an amazing first podcast, one for the books. Perfect timing. We have less than a minute on the Zoom. Hop on Discord actually after this, Dev.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, okay.
All right, bet. All right. See you guys. Take
Yeah,
care.
yeah, yeah. See y'all. See y'all.